with your retro gaming weekly update in glorious HD. Hope you've all been well. I've been playing Fallout 4 this week. Have you guys been playing it? Because to be honest, it's fucking awesome. It's a really, really good game, Fallout 4. But anyway, we're going to stop talking about Fallout 4 because at the end of the day, that's not retro gaming. Let's give you your retro gaming roundup. So here we go. So basically, obviously you probably have all heard of the Super Nintendo PlayStation. So that is basically, before the PlayStation was created, Nintendo and Sony worked together to create the, what do they call it on here? The Super Nintendo PlayStation. Which already is a terrible name, but anyway, we now all know it as you have a PlayStation, you've got a Super Nintendo, but once they were amalgamated. So obviously this was discovered quite recently, and someone posted saying that they found a working prototype. Now the person who's actually found it has actually posted pictures online of them playing the Super Nintendo PlayStation. It's such a terrible name. Anyway, that system of it actually working, of them playing Street Fighter 2. Also what they've done is they've shown off the insides of the console, just to show how it actually works. Not a whole lot else, but anyway, if you go to hkgolden.com, you can see all of these photos, as well as the ones that I'm actually showing down the bottom anyway. They're there, that's what they look like, but if you want to go to the website, hkgolden.com, it's all on there. So obviously the problem with the Sony, I keep getting the name wrong, Super Nintendo PlayStation, obviously it didn't happen because all I know is certain problems came up, it never happened, and it has got me wondering, were there games being developed for this console that never came out? So the games between Nintendo and Sony, were there games that have never seen the light of day? Were there games that actually ended up being on a cartridge or on a PlayStation? We don't really know. I'm sure we'll find out. Hopefully at some point. Some more news. Now Rare, aka the creators of GoldenEye, and also the creators of Conker's Bad Fur Day, which obviously they're quite well known for, they've uploaded a video and a few images of a cancelled new Conker game basically, that was meant to be coming out for the N64. Now I have got the video here, which I'll show you in a sec, but let's just go a little bit further. The game itself was called 12 Tales of Conker 64. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Anyway, that's what it was called. But what leads me to believe that something is actually happening here is I don't think it will be released as an N64 cartridge. I think Microsoft, aka the people who now own Rare, may release it. Don't know, this is just it's not even a rumour, it's just what I think will happen. Because they're releasing this footage, Microsoft now own Rare, and everyone loves Conker's Bad Fur Day, and it's a Rare game. And when I mean it's a Rare game, I mean obviously it's made by Rare, and it also is hard to find, and when it's found it's very expensive. But I think they'll release it. I'll be surprised if they don't. Check back with me soon. Anyway, so let's take a look at the footage and you can see exactly what it's all about.
Hi, I'm Louise and I was an animator on Conker's Bad Fur Day, a game which starred an easygoing squirrel who happened to have a taste for the hard stuff and some very, very strange friends. But before that, Conker's Day was actually shaping up to be something quite different. Conker's Quest, as it was called way back then, made its debut at E3 in 1997 alongside the first major showing of Banjo-Kazooie. Both Conker and Banjo appeared in Diddy Kong Racing later that year, well ahead of their own adventures. By the time Banjo-Kazooie was released in 1998, Conker's Quest had already gone through its first name swap. 12 Tales Conker 64 gave a better idea of all the different settings Conker's adventure would take him through. There was a prehistoric jungle, a gladiatorial arena, and a cowboy frontier just for starters. Most importantly though, there were different hats for each one. And who doesn't love different hats? This is all previously unseen footage from an early build of the game we dug out of the archives to show you how it would have played out. From the start, the game was designed and built on the idea of an interactive cartoon. A lot of work went into giving the characters really expressive faces, with Conker and Barry visibly reacting to the situations they found themselves in. At this point, both our characters were playable. Our hero had his Conker firing catapult, as seen in Conker's Pocket Tales, which was released on the Game Boy Color in 1999, while his world was still relatively sane. As the more hands-on character, Conker also had other tools, including a lasso, a kite, a rocket, and a unicycle. Because why not? Barry, on the other hand, preferred to make use of the critters she found and rescued along the way, which gave her journey a very different feel. But they both had to contend with the dangers of the world, including unfriendly, oversized acorns. If things got a bit hairy, Conker could also get some distance by running on all fours, like a proper squirrel. Even though this was still early, multiplayer was already built into 12 Tales. In co-op, one player could play as Conker's little owl companion, or you could even play 4-player split-screen deathmatch, but without the death. The game went into hibernation when the team decided it needed to take on a new angle in order to compete with the growing number of 3D platformers that were emerging on the market, not least of which was Banjo-Kazooie. Some elements like the speech bubbles, the scarecrow, the arena, and the windmill were kept in one form or another. But when it finally re-emerged in 2001 as Conker's Bad Fur Day, things were very different. And the innocent little fella from Diddy Kong Racing and Conker's Pocket Tales was all grown up. But that's a tale all of its own.
Next up we have a game called Quest Forge. So this is basically, obviously, you would have heard about Pico Interactive before, if you've watched my videos before, about Duke Nukem 3D being released on the Sega Genesis. Now, they have also got hold of Quest Forge. And this is a game that was originally meant to be released on the NES. That's right, NES. It's basically a brand new action RPG game. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, my camera did just run out of battery, so I have had to just switch to another camera. Obviously, the other one will be back next week, but let's continue with this. Anyway, so, as I was saying, let's get my notepad out. So, Quest Forge, basically a game that was going to be released on the NES, is now actually going to be coming out as a physical copy again. Well, not again, it's now coming as a physical copy. This game was in development for a long time. Created originally by Ludosity and now finished by Pico Interactive. Whether they're the guys just publishing it, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure we'll find out. So your job is you play as a knight, and what your job is to do is to keep the demons at bay. Basically, a thief has stolen an item called the World Orb, and that was what was keeping all the demons at bay. And your job is to find the demon orb and then catch all the bad guys. How awesome does that sound? Save the day. That's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do. Anyway, this game will be releasing for $34.99. Also $50 if you want the boxed version, which personally I would get. I think it's quite expensive for an older game. Be it that it's never been released before, it's fair enough. And for collectability, it's probably one you want to get if you are a NES fan. So let's take a look at the footage and you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Strength. Speed. Endurance. The long-awaited sequel to the Atari 2600 game Quest Forge has arrived. Use strength, speed, and endurance to defeat your foes. Explore vast worlds. Find love. Quest Forge by Order of Kings is available this summer, only for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
So next up, we have got the Curse of Isios. So this is a Loco Melito. Now, forgive me if you don't know what that is, because I don't either. They're teasing a brand new game. And the title is obviously Curse of Isios. Isios? Don't really know. Anyway, it's a retro-styled action platformer, which we do love around here at Games Re-Up, with retro-style graphics. This is just a description I'm reading here. Enemies, bosses, standard in a good platformer, and so it's a bit of a mix, the type of levels. It's linear and a bit of exploration, so it's usually one or the other. It's probably linear with a couple different doors to go through. Let's face it, that's probably all they mean by that, because I can't imagine it could be massively open world as well as linear. Doesn't quite make any sense. But what it is the game is actually based around Greek mythology, beating your way through with swords and all the myths and monsters. You've basically just got to kill them all. That's it in a nutshell, I think, to be honest. The game started production back in 2010, so it's been in production for 5 to 6 years now, and it's finally going to be coming. Now, obviously, they've only teased it with a couple images. They've not actually shown any game footage. Doesn't really matter too much, but as soon as I get any more updates on that one, you'll be hearing from me soon. So I've been out from Games Rep. That is it for this week, this edition of the weekly retro gaming update. Got that wrong. Anyway, you know what I am, so click like and subscribe. I've been out from Games Rep. I'll see you all soon.